welcome back to Onyx Recaps. Today we will talk about the movie in our prime released in 2022. The movie takes place in a prestigious high school in South Korea, where the wealthiest 1% of students go. However, Han Ji-woo struggles to fit in since he used to be the smartest student in his previous school. But here he's one of the worst, especially in math. Math is considered the most important subject to get into college, and Ji-woo's classmates can afford private tutors and boot camps. But he can't because he's on student welfare. Ji-woo's math teacher, Mr. Kim Gun-ho, reminds him that his grades won't be enough to get into a prestigious college and suggests transferring to another school. One night, Ji-woo's roommates give him money to buy snacks and alcohol for everyone. But he gets caught by the night guard, Lee Hok-sung, on his way back. The following morning, Mr. Kim tries to get him to confess who else was involved, but Ji-woo values loyalty and remains silent. This catches the attention of his classmate, Park Bo-ram, but also gets him kicked out of the dorm temporarily. After class, Ji-woo's roommates offer him money as a thank you for buying snacks and alcohol for them, but he refuses because they are friends. They discuss how they can get snacks without being caught by the night guard, Hak-seng, who is a defector from North Korea and known as the commie officer. Later, Hak-seng visits his doctor who advises him that his job as a night guard and reliance on sleeping pills is harming his health. However, Hak-seng has no other job options as a defector and continues to take the pills. He spends his free time alone in his apartment with his pet turtle, drinking strawberry milk and solving Sudoku puzzles. The following day, Ji-woo is kicked out of his dorm and teased by Bo-ram on his way out. He goes back to his family's apartment and cleans it before his mother comes back from work. Ji-woo doesn't have the heart to tell his mother he needs a place to sleep, so he lies and says he needs to return to school. On his way back, it starts raining, so he hides in the school's abandoned lab. Hak-seng finds him there and feels bad that Ji-woo doesn't have a place to stay, so he invites him to sleep in his office. While Ji-woo is sleeping, Hak-seng finds the difficult math homework that he couldn't finish. The next day, Bo-ram notices that Ji-woo's homework has been done and wants him to show the teacher, but he asks her to keep quiet. After school, Ji-woo thanks Hak-sung for his help and asks him to teach him how to solve math problems, but Hak-sung refuses and kicks him out. Ji-woo observes that even his classmates' private tutors struggle with these math problems, indicating how exceptional Hak-sung is. Ji-woo follows Hak-sung around, begging for tutoring, but Hak-sung ignores him. One afternoon, while taking out the trash, Hak-sung overhears teachers discussing students on welfare with uninvolved parents and inferiority complexes, including Ji-woo. Ji-woo approaches Hak-sung again to ask for tutoring, and Hak-sung finally agrees, asking for payment in the form of strawberry milk. The next day, Hak-sung visits his friend Ji-chol, who helped him escape North Korea and works as Seoul's North Korean defector support lead. Hak-sung and Ji-chol play board games and talk about their lives. Ji-chol gives Hak-sung lamps as a gift, and Hak-sung insists on paying for them. At night, Hak-sung puts the lamps in the abandoned lab to teach Ji-woo there in secret. Hak-sung sets 3 rules: nobody must know about the classes, Ji-woo can only ask math questions, and Hak-sung will teach math, but doesn't want to hear anything about grades or tests. Ji-woo quickly solves the first exercise, finding the area of a triangle, but Hak-sung tells him he's wrong by drawing a full circle around the triangle. Ji-woo feels tricked, but Hak-sung's point is that he's approaching problem solving the wrong way. Hak-sung teaches Ji-woo that understanding the question is more important than just finding the answer in math. They have a conversation about classical music, and Ji-woo plays songs on his phone, which helps Hak-sung sleep better. Mr. Kim tells his math class that they will participate in the Pythagoras math competition instead of having finals. Ji-woo goes to see Hak-sung every day for math classes, and Bo-ram notices how often Ji-woo buys strawberry milk. Ji-woo visits Hak-sung every day to learn math, and he loves strawberry milk. One day, Hak-sung teaches Ji-woo a hard exercise that takes him 3 hours to solve manually. Hak-sung shows him how famous mathematician Bernhard Riemann calculated the square root of 2 by hand to become intimate with the solving process. Hak-sung refuses to tell Ji-woo if his answer is right or wrong because it's the job of a mathematician to discover it himself. As weeks pass, Ji-woo improves his math skills every day. However, one afternoon he receives some bad news that a close friend is transferring back to his old school. Ji-woo has to think about his own situation and Bo-ram tries to hear him out, but he feels like she's making fun of him. Bo-ram and Ji-woo talk about their different situations, but Bo-ram's mother interrupts and scolds her for hanging out with a welfare kid. Later that night, Ji-woo talks to Hak-sung about transferring schools, but Hak-sung encourages him to keep trying. The next day, Boram apologizes to Jiwoo and gives him strawberry milk. She follows him to an abandoned lab and discovers his secret. She asks if she can come over from time to time and Hak-sung agrees. They notice a group of students sneaking around but decide not to do anything about it because of what happened to Jiwoo last time. On another day, Jiwoo asks Hak-sung why he studied math so hard. Hak-sung explains that he did it for the scholarship and his family at first. But as he learned more about it, he found it beautiful and fell in love with it. Later, they call Boram to join them at the piano where Hak-sung teaches her a cool trick of playing a melody using the number pi. During math class, Jiwoo corrects Mr. Kim's answer to an exercise using the logic Hak-sung taught him. However, Mr. Kim scolds him for it, saying that the students only need to give the solution that is expected, not necessarily the right answer. Jiwoo sneaks into the computer lab to print a long thesis for Hak-sung. On the day of the Pythagoras test, Boram gets frustrated and leaves without finishing. Her mother lies to the school and they avoid contact with Jiwoo. Jiwoo and Hak-sung go to a concert, but Boram doesn't show up. Hak-sung invites Jiwoo to dinner at his place, and it's the first time Jiwoo sees him eat. Someone leaks the test on the internet, causing problems for the teachers. Jiwoo and Hak-sung go to a bookstore where they meet a man from North Korea who recognizes Hak-sung as a famous mathematical genius. This man mistakenly thinks that Jiwoo is Hak-sung's son. Hak-sung becomes uncomfortable and rushes to leave the store. At home, Hak-sung remembers the good times he had with his real son, Lee Taeyeon. The next day, there is important news on TV about the Riemann hypothesis, a big math problem that a famous North Korean mathematician called Lee Hak-sung is close to solving. Jikol and Jiwoo see the news and Jiwoo asks Hak-sung about it, but Hak-sung gets angry and asks Jiwoo to never mention it again. Meanwhile, Mr. Kim is in trouble because of the leaked test and his reputation are at risk. A co-worker reviews security tapes to find out who did it. A student spreads rumors about Jiwoo and accuses him of leaking a test. Mr. Kim confronts Jiwoo and offers him a deal to transfer to another school to avoid blame. Jiwoo's friends know the truth, but the rumors still spread. Meanwhile, Hak-sung's accomplishments are causing trouble as North Korea is angry that the South is taking credit for his work. Jikol tries to convince Hak-sung to appear on TV to clarify matters. Hak-sung is still grieving the loss of his son, who died because of his research. Jiwoo tries to talk to Hak-sung, but Hak-sung refuses to accept that they are anything closer than a tutor and student. Later, Boram calls Jiwoo upset about how he's being framed, but Jiwoo tells her it's over and hangs up. Meanwhile, Hak-sung arrives at the bus station and thinks he saw his son's face on a random stranger, which makes him remember the night his son died. Back to Jiwoo. He sneaks into his home to use his mother's stamp on the transfer papers while she's sleeping. The next day, a man named Mr. Kim told someone that he did the right thing. Hak-sung was hiding in a hotel while Jichul looked for him to take him to a TV show. Later, Boram called and told him that Jiwoo was transferring to another school that afternoon. At the Pythagoras Award ceremony, Jiwoo was leaving the school when Boram suddenly appeared and took him to the auditorium by stealing his things. Professor gave a speech about a new theory and then Hak-sung rushed in and interrupted the ceremony. He gave a speech too and said that he was the one who taught Jiwoo math, and that he did not leak the test. He also said that Mr. Kim leaked the test to his private students. This made Mr. Kim angry and ashamed, so he left. Hak-sung shared that he defected from North Korea so he could study math without his government using his research for weapons. A man wanted his math skills to help people get good jobs and go to good colleges, but he became greedy and it caused his son's death. He felt ashamed of his choices. However, Jiwoo believed in him and kept his secret, even though it could ruin Jiwoo's future. The man apologized and thanked Jiwoo. Jichul gave the man a new passport and tickets to leave town, so no one could find him. Later, Jiwoo and his college class visited a famous research institute for math, where the man now works. Jiwoo surprised him with strawberry milk and a hug, and they talked about math. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more recaps.